With how they've been, it's really hard to say with how they've been playing because both of these teams have actually been pushed to game 5s at this event so far. It's been a mixed bag, to be honest with you. Some weird, wonderful competition, but it looks like game number 1 is underway. Make sure you're grabbing your phones, grabbing your computers, tweet the stream, use the hashtag HCS. I've heard some of the audience out there. Hope you guys are ready for this one because it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. I'm looking to see how this one goes down. We all want to see a wonderful and magnificent game number 5, and coming up after this, I believe we will be cracking on with some Halo 3. We're all excited, looking forward to that one, but right now it's on board with Eco, first camo of the game, Dave.
Yeah, quite a late camo at that one. Most times we're seeing these teams contested immediately, somebody grabbing it and burning it right away, but both these teams not wanting to give up more ground and give up that first death. So that's going to give Eco such a late camo. We're going to see that pay dividends through the rest of this match. One, because Eco actually has the first camo. It wasn't burned this time. And secondly, because Splyce are going to have the time on this power-up.
Holding back for a second, he had the information there, finds the double as well. That was perfect. Perfect Halo, just crouched down, just on the stage. You could just see the edge of his visor. He was looking around, saw the two players off on the off angle, should I say, and managed to step up, takes them both down. That's the railgun to drop as well. Now they can advance through here. They'll move off the bridge, through the junction, and of course, into this area to look for that final kill, which he does. The killing spree comes through, finds the guy down in the basement as well, and manages to at least pick him up from BR. And now they can focus on that basement. One's already in there. They're trying to tank this one through. If they get this, will be the triple cap in full effect. Snipe Down at least manages to catch Stellar off guard, does shut him down, but the time is ticking.
Yeah, and Eco getting a little early aggression right there, jumping out from Nest side. It felt like his teammate was going to come over and help from Elbow side, so I felt like that was a bit of a lackluster challenge, or not well thought out challenge. Clearly that player was kind of caught in a corner, and the only way to get him out was nading or jumping out and challenging like that, so it felt like kind of an easy read, but maybe Eco just felt like he had to do early damage or make a move right then and there.
Stella tries to move forward and advance, but unfortunately the railgun 2 grenades do find him. Sits him back down on his feet. Let's pop over on blue team. That's going over on Reciprocity. Pistol up, the wizard himself. Camo should be up around 39, I believe, because it was rather late. Railgun fresh off the barrel. One player up top, lands the bullet. Job done. Beat down as well. There's a double. Now they can make the conversion. Now they can focus on other things, where they're going to go. BR basement, but more importantly, they have to make sure that they not only just at least contend this day, but keep a hold of it, get these kills. If they lose this, it will then force them back onto that bunker spawn and cause them all kinds of problems. This is good, though. 1, 2, 3 individual players are spliced. They're all dead. They're gone. The time for Reciprocity, it keeps on ticking.
Yep, Wizard casting his railgun spell, but Stellar was able to acquire this camo. This is what I was talking about before. Because of that first timing of the camo, Splyce were able to acquire the second one. We might see this roll into a potential third camo later. That's one of the advantages of getting a late power-up, especially one that is uncontested. The other team, they cannot spend that many resources just sitting around waiting for it. Obviously, the coaches are going to at least have some sort of ballpark figure. A lot of times, they should be able to know within 5 to 10 seconds. But that's so much precious time, especially on such a fast-paced map here, like the rig.
Answer back onto Trippy. I did see him get 3 in a row, so that was a triple kill for Trippy, ironically. 2 players moving back on here. They will try and combine their forces to take down this one individual player, which to do, but Cyan decides he wants to step up and step in, but unfortunately steps out. 1, 2, 3, back to back just like that. They're all down and dead. Splyce can advance and kind of push out here rather than being trapped back in basement like they have been for at least 10 to 20 seconds now. Time has got ahead of them, but not too much. It's still very, very early game, only a couple of minutes in here. Pistola forces Stella to evacuate down below the pipes. Will come up at the opposing side on the BR, but unfortunately the oncoming fire from basement's just too much. He's down, he's gone, I think, as well. I saw several of his teammates there as well, but now they're going to be spawning on this bunker.
Yeah, that's one of the more difficult situations that a player can find themselves in. Stellar going down low, trying to separate from his teammates and be the flanker. And if you're the flanker and you see 2 of your teammates fall, it's sort of like, oh man, I lost my strong positioning. And the opponents obviously already knew where he was because they had that player over at Engine 1, so he was just stuck in such a difficult position.
Railgun just popped. Camo should be coming up soon. Our wonderful observers in the back are keeping an eagle eye on that thing to see where it goes and which player's hands it does fall in. Pistola, though, I like this play. Jumps back onto the Batman ledge. He's definitely had the communication. There is a player moving on the open side. 2 individual players, they drop simultaneously. Stella, Eco, they're put back on the respawn. That was the Railgun going to full force effect as 2 players do drop. And here we have it then, the wizard himself, Cloak of Invisibility, GG, it's on his back, and away we go once again.
Yes, so this is going to be the first camo we've seen in the hands of Reciprocity. And despite not having camos yet, they've been able to amass this double lead right now. They're up 50 to 25 here in just a moment.
Pauses for a second. Initial player doesn't see where he is, but it's okay because from that seawall entrance, the initial shots did come down. You can see that Nest is getting converted. That's some great oncoming fire, though. Eco with the pre-fire. He steps up, unfortunately, though. It's going to be a bit of a problem as he does go down. They will trade off the Nest. Killing spree, though, for Saiyan, as he does have this scout shot and railgun as well. What a magnificent and wonderful combo. I think he's out of ammo on the opposing side, which would have been the close combat kind of shotgun weapon, but he somehow makes the railgun work. Pre-charge, he's turned around, there's a double, and all of a sudden, there's the Nest.
Yeah, they're going to turn this back over and keep points ticking on the Reciprocity side. They're looking real strong right here. You know, I made the funny joke just trying to go against the earlier crowd, but obviously I feel like so many viewers right now have all this faith in Reciprocity, and for good reason too, because we saw Reciprocity be a strong Splyce over in London. Here we are in Atlanta, and we gotta say this is probably one of the weaker showings we've seen out of Splyce, especially out of Friday and early Saturday. So to think that they can't take down Splyce here, it's definitely a fallacy, or you know, it'd be fatuous to think that they can't take down Splyce.
You love to see it when a player's getting hype on the player cams. You can hear him giving a little bit of trash talk across the thing. Super Saiyan has come to play, though. 10 in a row here, looking for more. One bops up. That's going to be Renegade, who goes down just like that. Pistolov also double. My God, somebody stop Tommy. He is on an absolute tear. 12 in a row, Dave.
12 in a row against a squad like Splyce is unheard of. He is almost going to get that reset, but decides to instantly chase down this player who's over towards sewer side. Also get another player weak. He's just doing absolutely everything he can. Gets in on the contest on the basement, so he's just cutting every corner he can. That's what matters. And look at that, Stellar even just stopping, realizing that this game is over.
I think he just gave in there, and there were nothing stopping him whatsoever. It's over, it's done. Triple cap will tick this one through. Reciprocity, my word, Saiyan as well. His kills must be absolutely through the roof. Splyce take a drilling in game number 1.
That is the exact way you want to start off a series against a squad like Splyce. Frustrate them to the point where you have even someone like Stellar just staying at the very end saying, this one's over. We have zero chance. Time to move on.
We've got to look at these stats because not only am I seeing a standout one, I'm also seeing some absolutely trash tier kills on the opposing side. 4, 14, 6, 15, 8, and 16. Splyce just got completely shut down, and then all of a sudden you see 21 and 7.
Well, I mean, we saw that 12 or 13 kill spree from Saiyan at the end. How often can you say, hey, over the course of those 3 minutes, Saiyan got more kills than Renegade and Shotzzy got combined over the entire game?
He just, I mean, you even saw Stellar at one point just stand still, it's like, take the kill. This is done. You can have it, just stop killing us, let's get this over and done with. And just like that, Reciprocity, game number 1, what an absolutely commanding victory and a pivotal way to start this series. They want to get a repeat of what they did in London. Unfortunately, it kind of came back to bite them because they didn't make it to the grand finals. But this time, this is the final Halo 5 event. This is the final time for them to take a trophy and put it in the cabinet, because after this, there is no more. This is the last official HCS event. We are now moving into Slayer on Plaza. Dave, is there anything you can take from game number 1 apart from Saiyan's absolutely ballistic start to this one?
Just felt like Reciprocity were clicking in every way, shape, and form. Felt like, I don't want to say unfortunate plays or unlucky situations, but it felt like when things could go wrong, you know, a form of Murphy's Law there with Stellar flanking, it just felt like teammates were falling at the wrong times. Things were not clicking there for this Splyce squad. So I don't really have any one grand idea that's like, hey, they just need to do this a little bit better. I just feel like Splyce need to wake up. They need to obviously be worrying about dealing as much damage and staying alive a bit more, because I feel like we are seeing some unorthodox challenges or some questionable challenges from time to time from these players. The strong suit from Splyce that I've always felt in the past is their ability to stay alive. They challenge, do as much damage as possible on the map, stay alive, run away, go through crazy angles. And when you have these members of Splyce falling early, it's so much easier to collapse on the remaining members.
All right, Rona, we know what you can do. show us on stream. Unfortunately, missed the initial shot with the sniper rifle. That's fine. He's got some support. Turns around. Where's the no scope? He's going to drop down behind him. There it is. Snaps his face off. That's the double. The sniper, though, it's fallen back. Ola's got to fight his own battle in a challenge. He does have a teammate that he can fall this one back. They will at least keep him no shield. Unfortunately, that grenade does bank off. He were kind of trapped. There was nowhere else to go. But Trippy, still, I like this. He's not rushing forward, giving away death, but they're at least applying pressure onto that sniper. So at least they try to not let it get away. But I do think it's moved to the opposing side of the map, Dave.
Well, here's one thing I also want to point out about that death Pistola had from the grenade is that is an acceptable death in the long run here during a game. What's going to happen from time to time is more often than not, you're going to hide behind that geometry, buy some time, and you might get hit by a grenade or might get killed. However, there are going to be times later on, if you and your team are all doing that same style of play, where you're drawn out as long as possible, where your teammates can get shots from that player, or where you're drawing out those grenades, there's going to be times that player either misses a grenade or doesn't have the grenade and can't finish you off, or your teammate's going to give you help fast enough. So those sort of plays are acceptable because there was actually a cost that came to Splyce. Instead of Ola just jumping out and giving the free kill for just a pistol shot or giving away his position like that, instead he's forcing them to use resources to take him down on every single death.
Trippy's forced to waste the sniper ammo, that's fine, use it up so you can't pass it along to Splyce because you give him an inch, they'll take a mile. We do have a listening ready in the back and we are on board with shots, so they dive on in and hear how the communication's going on the side of Splyce.
We got it, nice. Top gold maybe?
Yeah, you need percent nice. I'll watch over you. You need percent nice.
Top gold. Help Brayden, nice. You Brayden?
For a nest.
Yeah,
Hotel, Reno.
I have help. Yeah,
Bottom nest.
watch whenever you're done.
Bottom nest.
Another one, you're in blue, guys. In blue somewhere. Where?
Yeah, I'm leaving nowhere.
You like melted all my OV out there, right?
Where, Kevin?
Another one on me. Make sure we kill that guy. On the BR,
I'll
behind
kill
him.
him. I'll most likely kill him.
Push hard together. Push hard together fast after this. Push. Fast.
I'm going top.
Yeah, I'm gonna top yellow.
I'm going. Yo, he has a combo in yard, under yellow.
Yeah, I fell.
Can't push
on him.
yet. Go live, John, live.
Here.
Go time me for a second.
Oh my god, I got naded.
Yo, Sun's gonna be up
I'm
high.
pushing this side.
Watch
Two
out.
shot power door, into yard, guys.
I definitely drop away.
Yeah, you might have to play this.
I'm gonna die.
Where you guys spawn? You guys spawn blue?
Mark it.
Yo, look at snipe, dude. Look at snipe. I can buy. Look at
Prius.
We can just let
Yo, Prius right now. Bottom middle going.
got him, I killed him.
Bottom
No,
middle.
you guys have watch out. Got you.
Bottom middle.
Yeah, got him.
I'm snipe.
Nice guy, top yellow, the bullet.
Yo, fucking spawn them in one spot. Just spawn them in one spot. Just spawn them
We're fucking blue.
Let me get a pick. Let me try to get big.
Dying, bro. Yo, in yard now, guys. In yard now, going top yellow in a second. Top yellow in a second.
Yo, Kev, push my posters out right away.
I got you.
He's posters. He's here.
I need to set up.
Brother, trying to kill me. Brother, trying to kill me. Nice.
We did?
Nice. Where's that guy?
Last guy's in yard, I think.
Are we pushing? Yeah, push.
Yeah, behind you, John.
I'm going through driver.
Here, I don't see this kid.
I don't know.
No, push.
I needed
I'll push loop.
Yeah, that's already. Payment. You're gonna go.
Alright, we have map
Just
control.
leave me.
Yeah, push your side down.
2, 2, 3. Whole team.
Yeah, well, I can watch over you. Just sit there. Literally sit.
One shot. Nice.
Go on.
Yeah, you guys push my trap. They have a sniper.
All right, two things I want to point out there, Dave. One, every single time a call out was made, a Splyce member answered the call. They answered the call of Gondor, knew exactly what their teammates wanted. More importantly, that is the freaking loudest I've ever heard that team in my life.
They are playing so much better this game compared to game number 1. The 3 things that stood out most throughout that listening to me was first, that setup when that snipe was coming up,
Yes.
where Renegade just baited it and said, hey, someone lay down some shots. That is a perfect example of how teams at the top level work together and play together. It's not like 2 players going around the corner at the exact same time. There was a large window of opportunity where Renegade was just ready. As soon as someone laid shots on that player at top sniper, Renegade was going to lift up. It didn't matter if it happened in the first second they was there or the 7th second that Renegade was there.
He was also shooting the wall, which guaranteed that his teammates were not going to allow that player top mid any kind of line of sight to disengage from that fight and force him back into it.
Yeah. So that was the second kill after he had lifted up. So that, like I said, that play over at Snipe, the communication and the setup. The second one was how they wanted to spawn them all in one area. You heard that multiple times. They say, hey, let's get this lockdown, spawn them all in one area, and then we're going to collapse. And which leads to my third point during the listening was fly. Everyone fly towards there. They had 3 dead, and they all took a slightly different route towards yard. You heard Renegade saying, I'm going towards driveway. They had one person going through loop side. They had the others going through yard and hallway. and just such great communications. You can see how terrifying it could be to play against that Splyce roster when you're down numbers. And here's one of those plays on the receiving end this time. You notice how Pistola didn't have the grenade to finish off that player behind the pillar. That's what's going to happen time to time when you actually buy time for your teammates to come on out. And look at the Wizard taking down 2 Nemesis. Shotzi, and I believe that was Renegades. So just incredible play by the Wizard, but despite great plays, they are still down by 10 kills here against Splyce.
Yeah, all this has gone down. Unfortunately, that 10-kill lead is just, I mean, it was at 13 at one point, so they've kind of managed to contain it a little bit. This time you can see completely different style of play. Very, very aware that they could be baiting that sniper. He was waiting on driveway. Now they're going to try and push him again. Trippy in the same spot as he was previous. Really nowhere else him to go, but he does at least manage to pick up the kill. He may get answered back, which he does bottom mid. Eco goes in. Snipe down will at least answer back onto Stealth on the opposing side, but Eco's still alive, doing whatever he wants. The Wizard, he's banged in the OS. He's confirmed that one, but again, look at how much is left. He's been smashed in the back. He managed to get away with it. But Splyce, they only need 3. They only need 2, excuse me. Another one goes on the board. At the moment, it's just push, push, push. Really, boys, we can't lose. Unless they cock this one up or do something major, this should be 1-1 and in the bag. Sniper rifle as well. 3 bullets in the gym, but come on, Stella. What can you do? Show us a headshot here, buddy. Goes through Cafe, looking straight down. See if we can catch any of the spawners out there. Tags him up. GG. It's 1-1, Dave.
Yeah, and just looking at Stellar's face, you can't tell if they won or lost the game. Like you said, these guys, they definitely have this stoic presence about them, realizing that they just take it game by game. Win or loss, they aren't going to let that affect them too much going into the following game.
So, different set of affairs this time round when we look towards the scores on the doors. Stella 16 and 10. That's more of a scoreline we are used to seeing. Saiyan 8 and 12. Complete polar. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a massive deficit, but it's polar opposite to the previous game. We did see this back in London, Dave, where there were a lot of back and forth, you know, and again, we made it all the way to game number 5, and Splyce, unfortunately, they just crumbled at the very last hurdle, but they did make it all the way to the grand finals. Who knows? I mean, for us, it's as much fun as it is to cast as it is. Hopefully, you guys watching at home, make sure you tweet the stream. Use the hashtag HCS, twitch.tv/Halo, mixer.com/Halo. We do have, obviously, matches going on in the background on our B stream, which is /HCS as well. But you want to be here, you want to be here now, because this could go all the way. And then from here, you stay tuned, you stay with us, because then we roll into the 2v2 Halo 3 showdown. Hopefully we get some of the OGs on main stage and seeing some of the best in the business from back in the day playing head-to-head. Game number 3 is locking and loading. It's going to be Oddball on Echelon. Looking forward to this one?
Absolutely. I don't know if RECIPROCITY are looking forward to it, though.
It's one of those where we've seen a couple of, to be honest, a couple of blowouts. You know, I've not really seen a massively close game. There were a point earlier on where I think you were talking about one of the players that naded me, but that was on a different map altogether. But Oddball, we have seen a fair few blowouts. I've also seen a couple of ones where it's just gone all the way down to the wire and someone's just completely run away with it, do the rotate. I think that's one of the good things that kind of makes this one is that it can, if you're very, very good at it, and some teams are very under-practiced, you can make it your own. You can really put your stamp on it and say, nah, we don't lose this one. It's as simple as that. But it is possible to catch a few teams off guard now and again. If you get the rotation right, and if you are in the lead, you get a really good setup on the back wall from where the Rockets are all the way down to the backside of the Pelican. You run it down that hallways, it can cause teams all kinds of problems.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime you can get those slays, and it all kind of comes down to just those kills in general. Anytime you have more slays, you have more options, you have more double teams, and everything just gets easier and better. Right now should be an easy kill here from Snipe Down and crew. Looks like Shotzi did get a hold of those rockets though, so one thing I would expect from RECIPROCITY right now is they had a massive outslaying right there. Actually, they're outslaying 4-2 at the moment, including Stellar's last kill. So they should be able to get some of those slays and get the ball. But despite outslaying, they're losing time, and now they are getting outslayed. Now they've dropped a few kills. So one problem I'm noticing from RECIPROCITY is it felt like they were able to get great kills off the break, but they weren't able to capitalize on staying alive, closing off that ball, and then also getting the ball to a safe location after they have a few members down.
Look at that.
Most teams and players bringing that ball towards bomb left when in doubt.
Enemy has the ball.
Grenade goes through. He has at least tanked him up, so they can pull this one back. That's fair play. I am getting word in the background as an update. Roy and Flamesword are still in the upper bracket undefeated, which is good, which means we might actually be seeing them not only in the grand finals, but on main stage playing later on. Ball is thrown off. The Wizard, he goes down. Saiyan, that's going to be a 5 onto Eco. He's dead in the kill feed. Stella answers one back and takes him out as well. At least grenades go up the stairs. And now the flood is here. They push this through. They'll move it back into the underpass and all the way around into the cooling area. They can sit here for now, around bunker, just chill for a little bit, do what they like. All these players are coming down, balls drop, there's some bait, throws a grenade in. 3 players all trapped in that single spot, Dave.
Yeah, all Reciprocity just trying to force their way through, and it feels like their firepower is somehow working.
It does.
Despite being in that close quarter area where they could have all gotten grenaded, so it felt like nades weren't used to their most effective ability or great dodging from Reciprocity. Prior to that engagement, which I felt like was going to work out in the favor of Splyce, I was going to say it feels like Splyce are doing slightly better rotations with the ball. It feels like they get a couple kills here and there, and they know where to push it around. But at the same time, it does feel like Reciprocity are now putting some kills on the board. So one thing I always look at when I think of teams that are better or worse at rotating the map is how are they doing when they're going even or negative in slays? Because I sometimes and usually do discredit times where a team is going positive in slays as far as rotation ability goes, because you can pretty much do whatever you want when you're outslaying the opposing team heavily. So it's like when they're going even or negative in slays, how are they scrapping up extra time? How are they keeping their ball carrier alive a little bit extra and rotating the ball away from their opponents?
Sorry to break you off there, Dave, but that was a pretty meaty player there from Renegade. He grabs the camo, smack bang on the dot, on the nose on time at 45. Picks up Rona with the fresh rockets, then hits a 2-for-1 as well. So I think he's still potentially rolling around with one in the chamber here. They are still continuing the ball
I
time.
bet he would have it out if he had the rocket still in the chamber.
Was there only one left in it? Did he
I don't know.
hit a 2-for-1?
I'm just assuming so. I feel like Renegade wouldn't be this greedy, trying to just get a pistol kill first and then using the rocket after. So I'm just
I mean, he does what he wants, right?
Assuming, yeah.
Yeah. At least changes it out. New combo comes in hand. Keeping an eye down here on Pelican if anyone wants to triangle on the outskirts and maybe flank down low. Try and snap down on the outskirts. Easy dink, easy kill. Eco floods underneath as well, so they can push this as a 2. Now they take control of top mid as well, and I like the fact that they're just monitoring this area, potentially grab that ball if one of them comes off the respawn, then can pull it back to them. At the moment, he's just patrolling around, grabbing kills, making sure they can't get ball time.
I like the spot. So as soon as 2 of his teammates went down, this is such a great position where you can contest the ball, and in many cases, the player might actually run it towards bottom left towards you anyways, or if you feel like players from Reciprocity aren't going for the ball, you can actually grab the ball yourself and run towards bottom left, and you're in a perfect spot to play ball it. So I really like that rotation there from Renegade over from top silo over towards bottom left.
Well, they did get all 4 down. Schultzy tries to make something happen, but unfortunately the ball had been thrown off map as they got them down. Renegade rockets this time round. Only got 1 last time. This time he gets 2 to do whatever he wants with. Saying that, he's getting absolutely smashed from behind, so no grenade follows up. He is allowed to continue this one for now. With 2 rockets, he could probably dictate the pace of the game here. Fair enough. Not going to do too much. Rockets are gone. So's the camo as well. You just saw Saiyan go down, an easy burn on that one. 15 seconds lead here. It's all just kind of quieting down for a little bit, Dave.
Yep.
What's the kill? Six kills. So, all right. Now it's flipped on his head. It was 6 in favor before of Reciprocity. Now it's 6 in favor of Splyce. So they've kind of twisted this one on its head a little bit. But again, that's the whole point of ball, right? It's a very back and forth rubber band game unless you can just keep spawning them over and over again and slaying them continuously.
Yep, and I feel like at this level, it's pretty uncommon to outslay him that heavily unless you get some extremely fortunate setups and some rotations. But yeah, with teams that are this high caliber of skill, they're going to know how to slow it down in certain positions and just get slays, even if it costs their team, 10 or 15 seconds at a time. They're going to say, hey, let's go get a couple kills before we make any other moves.
Right, Rumbold is sniped down. We've had a Splyce listening, so this time it's the turn of Reciprocity. It's diving in. Here are the comms are going on the side of the blue team.
I'm here.
Bottom left, 2. 3 shots right here, Eric.
Do that.
I got one, I got one.
Ball one hit.
Do that. He didn't play it. He did play it.
I mean, I'm on ball.
Turning back inside.
You guys killed him, and I'm on ball.
3 dead, 4 dead.
Should be inside blue.
2 down, 2 down.
Yeah, they're in blue, they're in blue.
I'm getting
Underpass, guys.
Dude, I'm dying from underpass. Ball's under lift. I died from underpass. He's
That's one.
stairs.
I hit him with an
On ball, on ball.
On ball right now.
Tap shields. And E2, guys. Above you, Eric.
I'm trying to get an angle.
Uplift. On ball. It's 1 shot.
1 shot.
Nice job. And no one. I spawned E1.
I got ball.
Somebody pick up engine.
I'm going for
Listen.
rockets.
I'm going with you.
We need rockets on me.
This guy's up close, too.
They're pushing blue, guys. They're pushing
Yeah,
blue.
they're all pushing. I spawned in blue as well.
Top cat, going top ladder. Top ladder right now.
Top ladder, 1 shot.
1 shot, and top cat again. Top cat again.
I'm right here.
They're all near ball spawn.
I got one.
You can rotate inside. E2, pushing you. Soaring, Joey, soaring.
I need help. I'm dead.
Right here.
Got me. Right here. 2 E2.
I spawned blue, guys. I spawned blue.
2 E2.
Came on 10. And here, I'm 1 shot. I'm 1 shot. I cannot go run this.
It's fine.
38 camo playing on
On
spawn.
ball, dude. He thrusted at it.
Camo.
Can't see him.
3 seconds.
Watch out, hanger.
Watch out.
Weak on camo. 2 at camo.
I need help. They're gonna get it.
I got it.
Got a 35.
Where are we spawning? I'm going D2.
Yeah, come in.
Main ramp right now weak. 3 shots main ramp.
I'm one shot.
They have camo. Open ramp.
I'm right here with you.
Trying to play this.
I spawn LP. I killed one back
One more here. Find a C2, guys. He's on ball. He has camo. He has camo on ball. Camo on ball.
2 on ball. 1's 1 shot. The ball guy's full.
He's on there. Just play your life, Eric. Play your life.
Ammo's 1 shot.
I got him.
Hey, shit, Eric.
Hey,
Keep
get
it
up
up.
top. Top left on
Top
Joe.
cat, top cat.
Top left, we coming? I got ball.
We top left on Joey.
Look him.
Shot him once, Joey.
He dropped. He dropped.
He did.
Top cat still. Top cat.
Nice. Hold
Top cat, 3 shots. Top cat, 3 shots.
Cat's dead.
Oh, no.
Nice job.
Shot to weak, top cat. Shot to weak, top cat.
I hear that. I'm holding E2, guys.
All right, I've got to say this. Good teamwork, good communication. Everything seems to be ticking the right boxes. One thing I did like from Splyce, but it hasn't actually paid off, Dave, is they opted to leave them with a little bit of ball time and go and really set themselves up for that camo. There were 3 players down there, made sure that they confirmed it. But in the long run, it's not broken this setup.
No, it hasn't. And I don't know to credit that whether the other members of Splyce without the camo died early. Did the camo player make a poor play? I really don't know exactly what happened with that camo play. I'd need to go and re-review the film to fully understand how that one faltered.
I mean, I'm all for, if you want to commit to something, that's absolutely fine. But you would really hope they got something off the back of it. Unfortunately, they did not. But saying that, they're still within reaching distance. 94-110 is absolutely no deficit whatsoever. Kills are going down across the board. 57 in the hands of Reciprocity. 58 in the hands of Splyce. Never mind that, it's all tied up. This is exactly tied on Slays. This is neck and neck.
Yep, and they got kind of a free kill on Stellar right there. Stellar sure was able to scrap up, 1 second there in that situation, which is, meaningless in my eyes.
4 dead.
But they were able to get some of those slays, so I really don't know how some of these back and forths are happening, because I felt like Reciprocity were in a prime position. They had 3 Splyce members down for a moment. They had ball incoming on bomb center. It should be a position that they are very familiar with here on Echelon and should know how to lock down a side and escort that ball. But instead, it flipped once again. Splyce gets 3 kills, so neck and neck with these teams of Slain, it is actually even in kills, 63-63.
Ball guy will move down towards the Pelican. They could probably get something set up here. Pistola, he'll just be an anchor point with this camo. Dips down low. Oh, Shotzi hasn't seen him. Now he has 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the 5th in the head. His teammate helps him out, comes in for some support. You can see the little arrow on the side, which will confirm the assist. Trippy, he goes down. He's dead with the red X, which means 2 players do have to commit to sealing that player's fate, which they do. But them grenades. Oh, and the second one follows through. It's off. That'll help him out a little bit. 28 points is all that separates these teams. And once again, just picking up the ball, running for it. Wizard goes forward. Doesn't get that kill though.
Shotzi.
That's dangerous because that's 2.
Shotzi cleaned up the ball carrier and then took down Ola. Almost goes for that triple kill on Snipe Down. Huge plays by Shotzi. Snipe Down did not get the play ball.
They were going for
the end of the world. Not the end of the world, especially since his other teammate, Pistola, was over there on Pelican side. I'm not sure how he got that spawn over on that side. Looks like Ola's opting to scrap up those last few seconds of time, which...
He didn't need to do that.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive. There's many times where your team is only a few seconds away, and it feels like, well, I should clearly just grab the ball and try to scrap up those seconds, right? And you got to play into the mind game here at this highest level of play. You have to say, well, they're going to expect that. They cannot afford to not look away from the ball. So take advantage of that. Take the next level of positioning. Get that spot where you can hold it a little bit better and then get those free kills and then scrap up the time. It looks like Stain's going to grab the 150th point and put their team up 2-1.
Yeah, sometimes you can question it whether or not going for these scrappy 1-2 seconds plays is worth it, but in the long run, when you're so far ahead, you can afford to do that. Sometimes we've seen it in past Halos where you will try and just go for that single ball time, and it can be the complete wrong play altogether. With Halo 5 and the advanced ability being a bit more fast, you can get involved in these battles, you can scrape up time. Even if it's scrappy, it's still a win on the board. Reciprocity, they lead the series 2-1. What a fantastic series we've had so far. 19 kills, 21, 18, and 21. All in all, it was 79-71 in favor of Reciprocity. So definitely not massively outslayed. It's only a couple of kills. But again, when it's objective, who cares? The main W is all about that ball.
Yep, all about that ball, but I feel like at some point we'd have to look through Halo Data Hive to say, all right, if a team outslays by, let's say, 10-ish kills or so, what is their percentage of winning that objective game? And I'm sure those just go up and up and up the more that you outslay. So there's a reason we talk about the times where a team goes negative in slays or even in slays and heavily wins the objective game, because it doesn't happen too often.
All right then, game number 4, we're moving into Sniper City, possibly my favorite game type and map in Halo 5. Call it CTF. Will this send Splyce flying into the losers bracket, or will this potentially give us another beefy game number 5 like we had back in London? Anyone in particular you want the observers to be keeping an eye on and keeping a track of in this one, Dave?
Ooh, I mean, one person I feel like that doesn't get some of the highlights is Eco.
Okay.
I remember hearing during the listening with Renegade where he was like, Eco, clear out my posters for me. Calling out a player to say, you know, to clear out an area and get that under control and give some breathing room there. So I'd love to give him a bit more of the spotlight because he's kind of this under-highlighted player. We always talk about Renegades and his snipe, Shotzi's movement, talk about Stellar and his zen, like his moments that he has in the game where he's just, you know, just this emotionless slayer.
It's sometimes hard to, you know, not pick out a highlight player, isn't it? Like we see people like Snipe Down, Frosty, doing these ridiculous stunts. Even Shotzi, for example, because the kid just is like Spider-Man, just bouncing off walls here, there, and God knows everywhere. But it's sometimes hard when you look at your Eco, your Stella, it's just consistency. It's just driven efficiency time and time again, you know, not necessarily doing ridiculous things, but always being positive, always being good on the communication, always knowing how to handle every single situation. I mean, Stella mentioned it in the interview before this. He thinks every single player knows exactly what the other player would do in that scenario, like they all play similar. Now, to me, I think that's rather robotic and potentially why we'd never seen anything like this from a team before, because they just went on an unbelievable run that no one's ever seen. Hey, anything can happen. We're into game number 4. Lock and load on the POV of Stella. We'll try and take a look on Splyce and see how they set this one up. They're already up by 2. But then again, we are on an objective. It's all about the flags and not necessarily about the kills.
Yep, not all about the slays, but those slays are going to lead to some of these power weapons, which are going to lead to better positions and then flag grabs. So it's just this jostling for positions back and forth.
Interesting that the sniper's only just been touched. It was a little bit, not necessarily delayed, but delayed in picking it up. Obviously before we've seen it where, don't bother going for the no-scope, there's no shields. Hits it anyway, flies through. Oh, if he'd have hit that, that'd have been wacky and wild. One player down on Silver, flags on the way, move, snaps to his head. He's dead and gone. Now he moves over into the spawn where they're going to be. His teammates do have him support, allows him to pick up their headshot. Flags moving its way down. Opts to go for the body shot, then the scope, then the head. Now looks to him over in the cave. The triple's there, it's hiding in the back and the grenades are down. Look at this pressure from one single person, Dave.
Yep, we don't even have to hear the listening here for Splyce to know that they're calling out flying out there. All these members, I'm sure, are just flying straight over from the Splyce base over to RECIPROCITY's to try and put this pressure on and potentially get this flagpole.
They knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew that the flag were going to be running across the Silver, across Rockets, coming down there. So he says, you know what, bugger it, we'll move from Snipe to Rockets. Who charges in with a sniper rifle like that and just sits and goes on a killing spree, bodies 5 of them, stops the flag. Now we'll see Pistola overextend. He'll go into their base. I'm not seeing numbers, though. Unfortunately, plenty of his teammates, unfortunately, are dead. Get shot. They shut this one down. That might be a triple. 3 dead back to back to back. Just like that, Renegade staying alive.
Yeah, and more importantly, staying alive from the last player alive. That's going to let Shotzi and crew know where that last player from RECIPROCITY is, and so they can secure that, and then they have RECIPROCITY fully on the spawn. Now, RECIPROCITY no longer has some player that could be their out, that could be their second angle. They can eliminate every angle that RECIPROCITY has unless someone sprints out and gets some lucky stick on Renegade.
Yeah, that was a lucky one through there. Well, they're running this flag. We do have the Astro listening ready, so let's jump on in with Stella and his comms to see if they put this one home.
The window. Yeah, top rocks right now.
We're in a good ass spot right here for this return, guys.
Our flag's been taken.
Nice shit, John.
Yeah, there's literally 2 Alba. When there's rocks.
One shot, Alba.
We can get re. We have re.
Graded. Someone has to get touched. We got cap. Go, snipe in 10. Snipe in 10. One flag now. No, he's going bottom, middle. He's on the circle. Their window. On the circle, one or Silver. Snipe down. Our Silver snipe. Yeah, under our base, guys. Look if that's one elbow.
I
don't know where you're at. We gotta get sniped up.
Yo, blue trench chippy.
Need side to me?
Sniper rifles on the field.
Our sniper ramp, kill him. Kill me.
One shot, snipe down.
Yeah, Demar. He's gonna snipe.
He top rocks, he's gonna kill me. I'm stuck.
Yeah,
our sniper ramp. Our cave.
Step in our sniper ramp in a second. Yo, I'm gonna OE, bro.
Yeah, top rocks.
OE.
Top rocks right now, weak. Top rocks.
Our cave.
He's so weak.
If he's one shot.
The trench weak as well.
Our cave's so red.
You just gotta watch out.
Weak our cave, guys. Push him.
Watch out the scatter.
Yeah, he's sniping our sniper. Sniper, okay.
One shot our cave.
He's one shot our sniper, bro. Kill that kid.
Our cave.
Yeah, definitely bottom mid.
Nice, that's your sniper.
Grass right up. Grass to our maze.
Got a bullet in him.
Nice. Do that. All right, I'll stay back. You guys push up.
Could be grass though. I'm in their cave, guys.
Bro.
He's in window.
Our elbow or window?
Okay, window.
I think he's gonna be nothing our elbow, man.
I hear that.
Another one, their flag on me. 2 dead. Push.
Elbow.
Here, Brayden. Let's go. This guy's alone.
We can kill this kid. Yo, you don't have to die. Nice fucking shit.
Nice.
Let's get elbow.
Died, Kevin.
And there we have it, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're all dead. They're down. They can continue this run, but unfortunately they're going to be spawning in cave because nobody's watching that off angle. They'll get the return at least for now. John comes in with the rockets. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit too late, but 2 do fall simultaneously, and now they're all on that elbow swan. Look at them, 1, 2, 3, but they're all falling to the whip of Shotzi. They're just killing them, slaying over and over again continuously, Dave.
Most teams, after you killed a couple of members that pulled the flag and you stopped the initial run, that flag run would be over completely. Not for Splyce, though. Somehow they're able to keep wave after wave of reciprocity down and get that flag back for the second time.
We'll see if this fumble has cost them that one flag. He did drop it, unfortunately, he had to go back. And they get the... Oh, can he get up there in time? He does. He gets the touch. He gets the throw as well. There'll be plenty of people ready to collect that one through. Down on the oven. Ola's in a really good spot. He might be able to make a stop here. He's no shield himself. He's going to roll through this one out.
That play
That's
a lot.
Amazing.
I like that play a lot. Some players may have in the past just gone straight for the recovery and not ran this counter cap. Counter pull is one of the safest moves you can do. It's going to divide all the attention of Splyce. Instead, they have to decide, do they go for the recovery? Do they go to grab their own flag and bring it back a little bit closer? It's just such a tough situation for Splyce. So instead, Pistola does the high percentage play. He brings that one back and puts it into a stalemate.
The thing is, though, it's not as if he's not doing anything, Dave. He's tanking. Oh, that play came absolutely out of nowhere. Where did he hit from? So he didn't have the cover from behind. Comes in. It's Shotzi. There's the double. Clears out his base. We don't have a standoff anymore. Both flags are back at the home thing, but fantastic play from Ola, not only just to do that, but then actually help and support the rest of his team by sitting there just on that ledge around S2. Been a bit of a nuisance. I mean, honestly, that's what he does best.
Yeah, but that's the crazy part is he was in a position like that, so he could not get flanked. His goal was, I'm going to stay out in this open area. It felt like his team had more of a presence over on snipe side of the map, so he's going to say, all right, I'm not going to put myself in some obscure area where I can get back smacked or shot. And that's exactly what Splyce did somehow. Somehow that member snuck behind Ola, got the back smack and the recovery.
Rec just need to calm it down a little bit. A couple of slays coming across the board here for the side of Splyce, but they do have the sniper rifle and they do have it inside the base. If anyone can stop this from happening, it's Eric Rona, but unfortunately, no, not today. There's the double from Eco. Flags at the home base. That should be an easy one. 2-0. Splyce getting ever closer to that game number 5. And the problem is, Dave, that every single time you play in Splyce, they're getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and you're just dragging them to that game 5, and it's so dangerous.
Yeah, it's never like a squad like Splyce or TOX. It's like, we got them to game 5. This is where they fall apart.
Yeah.
It's always, they just get tougher and tougher. It feels like they get more comfortable as the series goes on. It doesn't feel like they need to ride those emotional highs and lows throughout a series. It's just, they win with consistency over time. You give them more and more games. They're making fewer percentage of mistakes compared to their opposing team and just playing the odds and winning in the long run.
And what I think Splyce's biggest thing is you never see them tilling. They never just till and just completely blow things off the edge. I think, you know, when you look back to London, it was a well-fought battle from the side of TOX. As simple as that, they won very, very well. Both flags here, though, in this game are out and about. They are moving. Sniper, only 2 bullets left. Comes around the corner to Stella. Duck and a dive. And he's down, he's dead. The flag, again, we're in another stalemate scenario. Both flags are out, but the same position as before. They have the flag trapped. 1, 2, 3 members. This should be it. They should be able to scoop that one up. Put the last one in potentially. GG, game number 5. There it is. We're in, we're home. Oh, this is what we want to see, Dave. This is exactly what we want to see. I know there's a fair few audience out there that have a few cheers, I want to say, when we hear the side of Rec bringing one home, but this is it. It's going all the way again, just like it did in London. Splyce versus Reciprocity, upper bracket, game 5. Make sure you're getting on your phones and your computers. You're tweeting this one out using that hashtag HCS. Mentality, though, I'm looking across the board here, Dave, on this camera angle. I'm seeing Sane at the end shaking his head. I'm not really seeing Eric Rona say much, to be honest.
Well, I mean, Sane also, he had that amazing first game. It didn't feel like he's had, you know, as strong a performance. I mean, it's tough to follow up a 21-7 performance on that first Stronghold match. So, I mean, there's not really much blaming him there.
No,
but at the same time, too, you got a question like, hey, half the games they've won so far out of the 2, one of them, Sane, had to go off.
Yeah, that is fair. But again, I'm all for you win as a team, you die as a team.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Sometimes, all right, there can be an individual who does stand out and goes off on a ridiculous spree like he did in game number 1. And you can also get players from the opposing side that can just have an absolutely dog game and do a massive negative bomb and be a complete hindrance. But we'll see how this one goes down. It all comes down to Slayer on Refuge. Any... Come on, then. Is it a coin toss, or are you favouring a team here?
It's, I mean, if you're going with who I think's going or who I want to win, I mean, it's really tough. I think those answers... I definitely have some caster bias. Is that a surprise to anyone?
No, not with you.
But, gosh, this one's so tough. I mean, you saw how strong that Splyce played that last one. They were just looking so good. It felt like they were clicking. Even when we heard them talking in game number 2, it felt like if we could go to a listen during game 1, I felt like that would be completely different. So it feels like Splyce are catching their stride. They've won games 2 and 4, and I really don't know. It's going to come down to who can control these snipers. And right out the gate, though, Splyce get the first 2 kills. That's probably going to get them rockets as well. This could spiral out of control.
Make that the first 3. Snipe down still, just chilling under the little turret ramp. And he's getting pushed aggressively. Plants one in his brain. Second one's there, though. They flood it through. They grab the sniper, and now they're going to run back. So that's all 3 power weapons here in control of Splyce. And this could be really scary because it might control the map, Dave.
Yeah, Shotzi also combined the ammo there, which is actually a play I agree with for the most part on Slayer in Halo and almost all Halos. Some teams, they opt to say, hey, we want 2 snipers having different angles, but I feel like in most cases you can plant a sniper so far back here on something like Sanctuary or, you know, now known as Refuge, and have your teammates up far enough, and it's just like having all that ammo in one spot where you don't have a couple different weak points that can be taken advantage of, or you don't have one player who's either doing full damage or 0 damage. It seems to pay off more often than not. So I really like how they combine sniper ammo there instead of having 2 snipers.
Ring 3 control well and truly cemented in the hands of Splyce here. Shotzi will be forced back just for now. Looks across and Eric wants his toy back. They're coming for him. Will waste the bullet off the back, and that's absolutely fine, but they do at least eliminate him for now.
So the part like I said before, that I agreed with was combine the ammo. The part I disagreed with, though, was being so aggressive with that. You have all the ammo in the world. There's going to be no one else that can test you in the long-range game. Why give up that position? I can understand how Splyce always wants to play aggressive, get them on the spawn, take up as much ground as possible. But in a situation like that, you know, Slayer, it's just going to be how many kills versus how many deaths. So you had 7+ bullets in the sniper. Sit back after you get a couple of those. Secure your side, and then pick off once again.
All right, Dave, Wrecker down by 2. We've got the listening ready in the back. Let's hear how they're going to pull this one out the back.
Wait, behind you red, behind you red.
I want to know, there's a guy on my flag.
One shot, Joey, one shot.
Nice. We come in, under my turret.
I'm trying to help you, Eric. I ever help? No one held on Eric.
Spawning red rocks, guys. Spawning red rocks. He's going to get me. He's Shotzi under the turret.
I'm flying at him.
Can't see
No one here. I got 2 more shots. Watch your ass in ring, Tommy. No one here on me, Justin.
Right here. I have shots, Eric.
Red jump up, 1 hit, Tommy. Red jump up.
Hold here, Eric.
Record.
One shot on the flag. One shot on the turret right now above us. Dead. Good shit. Tommy's at ring 3.
I'm pushing up the core.
Joey's ring 3 for you, Tommy.
Ring 3. Under the turret. Under the turret.
We fell off.
I don't have any weapons
I'm
off right now, so.
I'll make it back.
Jackson's up on the rocks. I'm ring 3.
Making sure they don't have turrets.
I'm 1 shot from the rock guy. I'm 1 shot. I can't get ring 3.
I can't use this rocket
Joey,
yet.
can you get ring 3 or you?
Yeah, I got you.
Once there, jump
On
up.
your rocks.
On the carbine here, Joey. 1 shot. Can't.
One shot, red jump up, red jump up.
To my courtyard.
Red jump up. Stay alive.
Ring 3 weak.
Pushing ring from jump up. Good shot.
Jump
Stay
up.
alive.
Got 1.
Another one jump up somewhere. Fallen. Stay alive.
Actually, no one here, 3 down.
Push
red HUD, push red
I got
HUD.
this.
There.
On me.
I
have the rocks.
He's going under the turret, guys.
I smoke blue rocks.
He's red turret. He's red turret, 1 shot. Nice, and under red turret, Eric. Right under you.
Blue jump up right now. 1 shot. Blue jump up.
Good shit, Eric.
Well, you guys blue jump up.
Go courtyard. Good shit.
Red courtyard, Eric.
We have both snipes.
My courtyard?
Yeah.
On me?
I'm coming to the jump up right
Nice
now.
one, blue rocks.
My HUD, guys. Can someone get to me?
Blue rocks.
Eric, me.
You guys blue rocks.
We got the guy.
Blue rocks.
Red, blue jump.
Blue rocks.
Come to red. We have both snipes.
I hear that. I'm in the ring, guys.
Blue health pack going rocks. Blue health pack.
I'm bringing the sniper back. Justin's sniping to our flag.
Alright.
Going back to the BR with the
We have
both snipes. Chill.
My rocks, 2 of them.
Yeah.
Stay up.
2 guys blue
Go in
rocks.
the hut, Eric. Go in the hut.
I need help in the ring, guys.
1 shot in the TOX, Nico. We need to get ring 3. Can you get ring 3? I'm out of ammo. He's on the jump up under you guys.
Yeah, he's half shields. He's one shot Bond. 3 shots Bond.
And the car point. You have an 8?
He's one shot Bond.
One shot in the car.
One shot in the car. I hear you.
I'm pushing up on blue car.
Bond.
Still carbine.
Ring 2, ring 2, ring 3, ring 1, ring 1.
I got him.
One shot your bug, Chauncey.
Rockets are up still. Rockets coming right now.
They're coming up any second.
Joey, say ring
3. I'll help you on spawn.
Ring 2 shots.
Pistola is absolutely dumping on them with this sniper rifle. Time and time again in that kill feed, Dave. It's just been him illuminating it with Splyce bodies.
Yeah, going into that listening, Splyce had all the advantages and everything going on for them. But right from the get-go, you saw Snipe Down doing such a great job staying alive under that turret, just working with Pistola. And when they actually got control of those snipers, they sat back a bit more. You saw Pistola sitting back on the flag. Snipe Down was a little overextended towards courtside, but he wasn't, fully overextended into the ring or such once they had control of both snipes. So I feel like they were being a bit more wise with the power weapons. Fights, Pistola's just dominating.
Things like that is what wins you championships. Comes down with no shield, bodies a second one. And now all of a sudden, from being down by 3, they're up by 5. But do not count Splyce out just yet. They are the comeback kings, and that's why they are a current reigning world championship team. But I'll tell you what, Reciprocity, Dave, they are looking hot.
Yeah, Reciprocity have had so many great performances over the years. And we are just going to finally see them maybe put together here once again. Last time we saw them upset Splyce in London, they might do it back-to-back events.
Pistola taking control of ring 3. He now has eyes on the prize and can take control of the entirety of the map, just calling out where people are, being the spotter. Randy Nade from across the map. Hell knows how he spotted that guy. He will call out the player in rocks. Eric will dogpile onto him. You should see that kill coming up in the feed any second. It's actually Cyan who collects it. There it is as well. And that's just continuing this slaying over and over again. They're up by 11. This is looking like an REC game.
Yes, Reciprocity is doing everything right as they're picking up all these kills. Now, the big important part right now, though, is they can't just give up this massive lead. We saw a time previously where they had around a 10-kill lead, and that got cut down to about half. Do not let Splyce get that ground if you are Reciprocity's players or coach.
All right, all weapons have just popped. We got snipes and we got the rockets. Ola did commit to that rocket, but unfortunately a player was up on ring 3 ready and waiting for it. Shotzi puts himself up there now. I'm hearing bullets kicking off from the opposing sniper in the back. I think that was 4 in a row. No kills will come off the back in the kill feed whatsoever. Again, you don't want to be wasting bullets like that. We're seeing nothing from it.
Well, you don't want to be wasting bullets. My guess is that other sniper was under some pressure and assumed that they were going to get picked off. Now, what you want to do in a situation like this where your team has a significant lead, like 8 to 10 kills, the other team is most likely going to get back in the game because of power weapon use. So if you feel like there's a chance that that's going to get contested and go in enemy hands, just waste the ammo.
Literally, exactly. I've got Harry May just telling me now that's exactly what he was doing. He was just dumping the ammo so they could not make anything of it. And as we go into his POV, you can actually see they've got both snipes now.
Both snipes again. So the logic behind that, as I somewhat explained, is if a team's down by a significant margin, the best way for them to get back in is with power weapons. They might be able to, acquire kills here and there with pistols, but they probably aren't going to be able to go on uncontested sprees of getting kills with no death unless they have the power weapons.
4 minutes 50 on the clock and only 4 more kills to seal this game number 5 and advance Reciprocity through the upper bracket. Cyan in the kill feed. He wants to make that happen. Pistola picks up a second. We're only 2 kills away. Make that one. Final snipe! GG REC! That's a repeat of London, baby. Once again, Reciprocity, they claim victory. Game number 5 against Splyce.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on REC. They did such a great job there. Just close it out. You can't call that ace or a fluke. This team has been dominant for a long time, and we've always classified them as, they're in this 3rd to 4th / bracket, but it seems like they're pushing their way through the top 2.
Composure. Absolute composure. I mean, at one point, Dave, when we went to that listening, they were, I think it was down by 4, and all of a sudden they just took complete map dominance. I mean, Pistola, I want to take a look at these stats because, 16 and 8? All right, Wizard. I know you've just got out of Hogwarts and you've got your Wingardium Leviosa, whatever it's called, Diploma of School of Magic, but Christ.
But look at the 2 at the top of that board, though. Snipe Down and
Both
Ola,
same.
the two older players on this squad, the two veterans stepping it up when their team needs them the most.
And that's what you want to see. I know, obviously, with Halo 5, we've seen a lot of new players come through the ranks and be the ones that have really grinded it out and been the problem makers, so to speak, for some of these older players and such. But 16 and 8 from two individual players like that, I mean, in a game of Slayer as well, that's so important, right? You just,
unreal.
That's what you need.
And that was their exact margin they won by, essentially. They went plus 16 by the two of them, and their team only won by 15 kills.
Well, that's all we've got time for from us here on the casting desk. What an absolute pleasure it was. From here, we're going to be rolling into Halo 3, but we do have to break it down. Lottie, gents at the desk, what do you think about that one?
Guys, honestly, I am blown away right now. You are right, we do need to break it down. I am so excited. I was screaming up here. I just want to say quickly, though, that I told you so, and that I had full faith in my audience, and I knew you guys would pull me through, and they were right. And I mean, what an incredible series that was. I'm just going to focus right now on Pistola. I mean, let's look at that reciprocity, roster, and how they reacted to Splyce. I mean, Pistola with his absolutely ridiculous move in the shotgun tunnel, and obviously had no shield, but still pulled that off. I mean, unbelievable play all the way around.
I mean, Pistola definitely had some monstrous plays. Snipe Down also, got to give some love to him. When early on the game, when they were first able to take a lead, he had a spree with no health, no shield, where he was able to pick up 3 or 4 different kills and a few assists in an absolute ridiculous fashion. I mean, Wes, I'm so glad we predicted that.
Kyle, I'm so glad you just mentioned Snipe Down's life at the end, or at very the beginning of that Sanctuary game. That was the turning point right here is what we're watching. Snipe Down is able to get kills, get assists, stay alive, be a nuisance. He plays the situation perfect to a capital T at the end. It was unbelievable to watch, and Reciprocity is here for possibly their first tournament win in Halo 5.
That was
Here
amazing.
it is in the tunnel, the shotgun tunnel. Unbelievable stuff from Pistola. I mean, and look at the celebration. It was absolutely incredible. And having the audience behind you throughout that series, you know, when Snipe Down was getting some incredible stuff happening in his game, the audience reacting to that. I mean, as a player on the stage, you can hear that, right? And you react to it.
Oh, there's no better feeling than hitting a 6 shot or getting that double kill in shotgun tunnel and then hearing the crowd roar. You know you're on fire. The crowd knows you're on fire, and Reciprocity just got a lot of fans in this crowd hype. They're going to be here Sunday too. I'm looking forward to this Reciprocity crowd getting loud.
I mean, and there's 8 screens you can be watching. The chances of you doing something ridiculous with them on your point of view for the audience to even see doesn't always happen. So the fact that both sniped, I mean, shout out to the guys in the back. I don't know if that's Richie or Wonderboy who was doing that one, but phenomenal job grabbing all that action there. When Snipe Down was able to stay alive, there were grenades and bullets flying in from literally every direction, and he still managed to pull it off. So those guys have to be feeling hyped. They've been struggling so far at this event, and I know the whole Rec Pack has got to be feeling awesome.
You know, I said to you guys earlier on that I wanted to see